Welcome to Behind the Blue Lights, where we expose misconduct, break down legal encounters, defend rights, and call for real accountability. Today's episode comes courtesy of Auditor Applaud. Do check out his channel and give him the credit he deserves. In this case, Applaud is outside a police HQ, filming perfectly legally from public ground, when an inspector charges over as if he's catching a burglar red-handed. Backed up by two officers, he spouts made-up laws, hoping to scare Applaud into backing down. When their bluff fails, they go one step further, misusing Section 50 to carry out an unlawful arrest. But instead of folding, Applaud flips the script, turning their abuse of power into a full-blown legal fight, refusing a quick settlement and dragging them into court for true accountability.
Just a little bit concerned as to why you're filming inside Sussex Police premises.
Well, first of all, can you actually identify yourself properly for me?
Yeah, of course. My name's Inspector Simon Barden. I'm one of the duty inspectors up in our
Inspector?
Simon Barden.
Simon Barden, okay.
So I work in the Force Contact Control Room, so we're just wondering why you're stood on our property filming into...
No, I'm stood on public property.
Okay.
So let's verify that.
But you're filming into private property?
It makes no difference.
It does.
Why is that? What law am I breaking?
Because you're filming private property and you haven't...
It makes no difference.
Well, it does. You can't film into private property.
Yes, I can.
Okay, under what law?
Okay. The law is I can film whatever I can see in public. Okay, you can't trespass the eye.
Right from the very first words, the inspector shows he's completely out of his depth. There is no UK law that bans anyone from filming buildings or vehicles while standing on public land, and at his rank, he should know that instantly. When Applaud challenges him, the inspector makes it worse by asking, under what law? That's not just ignorance, it flips the entire principle on its head. The public don't need a law to justify filming. It's the police who need a law to restrict it. Article 10 of the Human Rights Act, backed by case law, makes it crystal clear. Recording in public is protected expression.
The staff members that are coming in, you're putting their security at risk because you could potentially...
I'm not putting anyone's security at risk.
But you could be, couldn't you?
No, that's a presumption, okay? I'm not doing anything wrong.
No, it's not a presumption because I said you could. I didn't say you were,
okay.
I said you could be. So that's not a presumption, that's me suggesting that you could be.
Okay, and how would I be putting their safety at risk then?
So what are you doing with those films?
Well, it's for personal use.
Okay. What personal use? Are you going to be sharing those online?
I don't know. Whatever personal use I wish.
Okay. So what is the purpose of you being here today would be my question.
The police is a public service.
Yep.
Okay. And I'm here to actually record what the public pay for.
Okay, but this isn't a police station, this is police
It
headquarters.
makes no difference. The public still pay for it.
Okay, I don't understand what you're trying to achieve though, because if you want to make sure...
I'm not trying to achieve anything. I'm just filming what the public pay for.
Okay, but if you're trying to prove that the public are paying and getting value for service, surely you'd be better...
I didn't say that. I didn't say that at all.
So what did you say?
Okay, I said I'm just here to film what the public pay for. That's it.
Okay, for what reason?
My own reason.
Rather than accept that filming in public is lawful, the inspector starts probing. What's the footage for? Personal use? Why are you here? That isn't policing, it's fishing. He isn't investigating a crime. He's trying to manufacture one by forcing Applaud to justify a perfectly lawful action. But there's no law saying you have to explain your reasons for filming. In fact, the Human Rights Act protects it outright. By demanding personal motives, the inspector was twisting a right into a privilege, acting like Applaud needed his approval to keep filming.
And do you come here regularly and do this?
That's irrelevant.
Okay. I feel like I've come down to have a conversation with you and engage with you. And
Yeah,
you're not,
but that,
and you're
but
not,
that com-
and
yeah,
you're
but
not
that,
particularly willing to engage.
yeah, but that conversation is irrelevant. Okay, that's called fishing for information.
It's not called fishing. It's called engaging with someone. It's called.
Yeah, I'll have a conversation about whatever you want. Okay, but whether or not, whether or not I've been here or not, or whether or not I'm actually filming, I'm just doing exactly what I'm perfectly lawfully allowed to do.
What my concern would be is that do you pose a security threat?
Okay, your concern and what the law is are two different things.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not.
Okay, your feelings and what you feel is not the law. Okay,
Right.
What I'm doing is perfectly lawful.
Not
Okay.
Not if you pose a security threat. It's
In
not.
what way? You still haven't answered that.
Have you answered my question?
Okay, you still haven't answered that.
Have you answered my questions?
I don't need to answer your questions.
And I don't need to answer your questions.
Okay.
When the inspector falls back on the old security threat line, it shows just how empty his argument really is. Security can't just be a magic word officers throw out when they've got no legal basis. Restricting rights requires reasonable suspicion of actual criminal activity, not a feeling, not discomfort, not paranoia about being filmed. That's why case law sets the standard. Policing can't be based on feelings. Applaud nailed it when he told the inspector, "Feelings aren't the law." His failure to name any genuine threat just proved it. He wasn't assessing risk, he was covering up his lack of knowledge.
Recording police vehicles. Are you recording information on police staff?
I'm recording whatever I can see.
Bear with me a second.
Why are you filming here?
Because I'm well within my legal rights to do so.
But why?
It's a public service that the public
Have you a
pay
keen
for.
interest in the police?
Okay, I have an interest in all public services.
So you do this on a regular basis?
Okay, that's irrelevant.
Well, rather than filming us, why don't you ask us some questions and if
Well,
you're interested in the police,
first of all, okay, if I had been approached correctly, okay, then I would have, okay, but your inspector hadn't, okay. You've come out, you've made an allegation, okay, towards me. No, you did. You made an allegation that your staff, okay, are alarmed and distressed, okay.
Yes,
you should know, as a constable, okay, you cannot be alarmed and distressed.
Any person can feel harassment, alarm and distress.
Not when you're an officer. It is case law, and you cannot. You cannot be.
But let me speak.
Okay.
Let me get my point across so you can get yours. Okay?
Okay. I can film whatever the eye can see, sir.
Okay, but listen to what I'm saying. Okay, you've just said what you want, so let me speak. Okay, members of staff leaving this building, this facility, in their plain clothes, in their own car, you filming them has caused them alarm, harassment and distress. Okay, they're not on duty as police officers, so they can feel alarmed and distressed.
The moment the two constables arrive, the police case collapses further. They claim staff entering and leaving HQ are alarmed and distressed by the camera. But case law says police, because of their role, are expected to tolerate a higher threshold of challenge. The officers try to wriggle out by saying they're plainclothes staff in personal cars. That doesn't matter. They're still on police property, tied to policing functions, and part of the institution being audited. You can't dodge accountability just by clocking out of uniform, especially not while leaving police headquarters.
Security risk.
From that here all the way round inside this property, okay, I can film.
It doesn't matter. When we book off our system off duty, we're off duty. However, what we are going to clarify is whether what you're standing on is private land. So
it's publicly accessible.
No.
It's publicly accessible under Section 33 of the Criminal Justice Act.
We're going to find out whether this part that you're standing on is private.
But then if you can show me the actual signs that state private property along there, okay, no public access, then fine, I will move on. Okay, but there are no signs, and it's publicly accessible.
What is your name, young man?
It's irrelevant.
You've clearly come here for an argument.
No, I haven't. No, I haven't. Because I want to film.
Film what? Film what?
Okay, what the public pay for.
Leaving the building.
No, I'm filming what I can see. Okay.
Well, what you're doing is you're filming people leaving in their personal vehicles. Okay. That's not exciting. And that's a security threat.
No, how is that a security threat? That's a presumption.
Do you not see what happens in the world?
That's a presumption.
You're not seeing what's happening in the world.
Okay, yeah, but that is a presumption, okay?
It's not a presumption.
And where you just said, okay, about to do with license plates, okay? License plates are in the public domain, okay? You guys have access to that information.
You're putting that on YouTube and you're specifically...
Who said that? Who said that? Whoa. Hang on a minute. Whoa, hang on. No. You said that. I haven't said it. No, don't shout at me.
Listen to me.
Do not shout at me. No, don't shout at me.
So let me have my piece.
Please do not shout at me.
Let me have my piece then.
Yeah, as long as you don't shout at me.
When pushed, the constables recycle the inspector's excuse, branding Applaud a security risk because he's filming number plates. But that's nonsense. Registration plates aren't private. They're legally required to be displayed in public, visible to anyone on the street. Calling that a security risk is absurd. What makes it worse is that police themselves have full DVLA access. If anyone has privileged access to plate information, it's the officers, not the public. This threat excuse was just a convenient cover, stretched out whenever they didn't like being filmed.
You are a public servant, okay? I am here as a member of the public to film public property, okay, and a public service that the public pay for, okay? I'm doing a completely lawful activity, okay? I'm breaking no law, I'm committing no crime, right? And I shall carry on about my business, okay? If you decide that you want to harass me, then you carry on and do that, sir.
The issue you have...
Could you step back a little bit,
What you're doing is you're causing our colleagues harassment, alarm and distress. Would you mind stepping back a little bit, please? You're causing our colleagues harassment, alarm and distress. Would you mind stepping back a little bit, please? Okay. Why don't you step back further over there to
No, because I moved to here and you came to me. Okay?
I've come
just
to
because
you. Because it's strange, and I'm asking you why you're filming.
And you walked to me.
I'm asking you why you're filming.
If you don't want to be that close to someone, then don't walk up to them that way.
Listen to me for a minute.
Okay? If you ask your colleague to step back, I will talk with you. No, he's walked right the way up. Now, this is me feeling alarmed and distressed.
He's not in your personal space.
Yes, he is. Okay? He's well within an arm's reach.
Don't touch me.
I didn't touch you.
At this point, professionalism completely disappears. Out-argued on every legal point, one officer resorts to physical intimidation, stepping right into Applaud's personal space without reason. That isn't policing, it's harassment. Instead of de-escalating, he loomed over Applaud, warning, "Don't touch me," even though no contact was ever made. That's not a warning, it's bait. A pre-planned excuse to twist any accidental contact into assaulting police. It showed he wasn't there to uphold the law, only to trap Applaud.
I mean, you get arrested for
I did not touch you, so let's get that right. I did not touch you.
Don't touch me.
Okay?
Touch me and you get
I did not touch you, so
okay?
you need to be quiet on that one. Okay? Don't tell me I touched you when I did not touch you.
Don't touch me.
I did not touch you. It's all on camera. Okay? I did not touch you. Don't tell me do I understand. Okay? Do not tell me, okay? Right? He's got a real attitude problem. Yes, he has.
If you'd like to talk to me for a second, that's
fine.
Okay. So I just wanted to clarify some things. You're right, this is a public area. You are entitled to film here. However, your behaviour is causing our staff harassment, alarm and distress.
Who's that then?
So we've had members of our staff complaining about you, filming them, leaving the premises, and that is causing them harassment, alarm and distress.
As a police officer or police officer, they cannot be the victim of being alarmed and distressed. No, they cannot. You need to actually look at that. It is case law and it is there.
Sir, listen to me. Yes, they can.
No, they cannot.
Yes, they can. So as such, under Section 50 of the Police Reform Act 2002, I'm going to ask you to provide me your details, your name and address.
Now, I will actually state this, under Section 50, the Police Reform Act, there has to be a member of the public within 150 metres of me.
No, they doesn't.
Yes, they
no,
do.
It doesn't,
right, you will not be getting my details.
So if you refuse to provide those details, you're liable to be arrested.
You will not get my details. I'll tell you that straight, because I've done nothing wrong.
That's fine. I'm going to ask you again. You have. You've caused our staff harassment, alarm, distress.
And I'm going to tell you no.
There is concern around your behaviour and how it's making our staff feel.
And I'm going to tell you no.
That request from you to provide me with your name
and
I'm
going to tell you no, because I've done nothing wrong.
You're under arrest.
Okay, right. Hang on. Just before you do, would you mind just reading my wrist, please?
When the inspector returns, it should have been a chance to restore order. Instead, he repeats the same nonsense, and then crosses the line by pulling out Section 50 of the Police Reform Act. Section 50 is not a free license to demand ID. It only applies where there are reasonable grounds to believe someone is committing antisocial behavior against the public. Applaud was quietly filming a government building on public land with no public affected. By denying that requirement, the inspector either showed total ignorance of the law or a deliberate abuse of it. When Applaud refused to hand over his details, they arrested him. That wasn't policing, it was punishment for not obeying.
We know I got one offer, that got turned down, and we now have a court date for the end of February, so I will keep you updated on that, Pete. So, as you know, I gave you an update on Inspector Barton, and where it should have actually gone to court at the end of last month, and basically things have sort of been delayed, so I'm now waiting for another date for that, and as soon as I have that, I will let you know.
But here's where the story flips. After being unlawfully arrested under Section 50, Applaud didn't just complain, he sued. The force tried to buy him off with a settlement, but he refused, pushing for a court showdown instead. That's huge. Settlements bury misconduct. A public trial exposes it. If Applaud wins, not only could damages run into 5 figures, but the inspector's actions will be formally ruled unlawful. That's taxpayer money wasted, a blow to the force's reputation, and possible disciplinary action for those involved. From start to finish, the inspector showed he didn't grasp the basics of filming law. Instead of leading, he bluffed. Instead of teaching his constables the law, he taught them how to double down on ignorance. The arrest was proof of weak leadership, Section 50 twisted into a tool of punishment, not protection. Even the constables played their part, from crowding Applaud to hiding behind shaky security excuses. They weren't policing the law, they were policing their feelings. And when those feelings were challenged, they leaned on their inspector. But the deeper problem is cultural. This wasn't just one bad call, it's a system where excuses come first and accountability last. By rejecting the settlement, Applaud ensures those failures will face the harsh light of a courtroom. That's all for today's video. If you found this breakdown useful, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It helps keep this independent coverage alive.